Hey guys, I'm really curious to see how this transmission comes through, and it's a very nuanced topic. So, this is how healers can unintentionally sabotage their relationships, how they can sabotage themselves by remaining in relationships that are not aligned for them and stinting their growth and causing them to shrink. There's so much on this topic. And what I'm also, how this could also apply to other types of people is that if you're a guide or a coach or a mentor or a teacher, you need to understand the core of what I'm going to say today in order to truly support the people that you serve to transform from the inside out. So potentially this could be a multi-video exploration of all those different topics, but let's just see how they weave together today. Let's see what wants to happen. Okay, so when you are the healer, you have chosen to experience wounds, pain, traumatic circumstances in order to transmute them so that you could understand how to heal, so that you could offer this transformation to yourself and move through that portal. And then from that, eventually, from this space of a healed essence, you could help other people. However, most people who are the healer are also the wounded healer. So they have their healing capacities and their unbelievable gifts. However, they still carry their own wounds. They still carry sort of an echo of it, a remnant of it. I think the wounded healer is an interesting archetype because the degree of wounding that this person can have can be subtle to extreme. And the potency of healing capabilities still exists within the individual. But the thing is like, how is it imbalanced in the exchange of healing energy when the person who is the healer carries imbalances? Okay, so this is the thing to tune into. And now this is one of the dynamics that I wanted to talk to you about first, about how you can sabotage your relationships and your friendships and hold them in a lowered paradigm. So I actually had this dynamic or this reflection from a friend who I lived in a community with. We had a sort of a fight or like a disagreement, and he was saying that I was projecting onto him that he needed to be supported and saved, and as a result I was unintentionally keeping him in that lower paradigm. And I really could see where I had wanted to help him from an imbalanced place, and was, by the strength of that intention, I was unintentionally keeping him down. So it was a really cool thing to see and to learn. And I actually gave that reflection to a friend yesterday as well, who was speaking about a dynamic between a friend. And I was saying that you obviously want to support them through the thing that they're experiencing. But when you try too hard to support them and to offer your healing and your insight and whatever it is, sometimes this can be unintentionally solidifying that version of themselves. And like, what they actually need you to do is they need you to step back and trust them and hold a vision for them to transform and evolve and overcome the things that they are suffering with. And the power of the healer is so strong that when you hold that subtle projection onto the other person, because you're really perceiving them too much through their wounds and what they need to heal and resolve, then you are transmitting a version of them into the field, and you are creating it in a lot of ways. And when you can learn how to trust the person that you're trying to support and to see their power and their wholeness and see them on the highest level, see their perfect infinite essence, and know that no matter what, they're going to rise. And you're able to transmute any aspect of yourself that really needs to help them, because you have so much trust and faith and conviction that they're going to change. So when you transmute that way that you're seeing the individual, and you transmute that tendency inside of yourself to see people through this negative lens and to perceive them through distortion and their wounds, then this is when you also mature in your ability to guide people. Okay, so this is where I come around to, if you are a guide, if you are a coach, if you are a healer and working with people, but even if this is just your role naturally in life, as it is for many of us, with our families, with our friends, with the people that we magnetize into our lives on a daily level, we're just here to offer this exchange. So you have to learn how to see the wholeness and recognize the perfected essence of someone, more than you see their wounds and you relate to their wounds. And you support someone to alchemize when you hold that field of recognition onto them and you witness them as their most embodied, transformed self. Like, you are just able to see that in them, see that potential, but you're also able to see their infinite essence and their wholeness and unconditional love that they are. And through you witnessing this aspect of a person, that is the greatest gift that you can really offer. And that in itself is the healing. You don't need to try to poke their wounds, but obviously the thing that you're learning mastery in as the healer is the ability to hold space and to command a field of transformation and to allow a point to exist in your field that supports people to naturally calibrate to that frequency, because you are so embodied in it yourself, you're so clear in it, that this just supports the recognition of that within another person, helps them to see that themselves, and that's what helps them to shift. So yes, this is not to say that when we decide to heal other people or support them to heal themselves and offer our gifts and our services and just the natural talents that we have, this is not to say that that's imbalanced, but I'm saying that when that is done with imbalance, there is an effect that tips the scale in a certain direction. And as you become more masterful and more attuned to how this work happens, then you are able to support people to rise in a way that is more empowering for them and that supports them to really do that. And then just to circle back around to the other thing that I wanted to share today about how the healer can sabotage themselves by their investment into relationships and into people that are struggling with their wounds, by being very focused on trying to help these people all the time, and with someone because you want to save them, whether it's a friend or whether it's a partner. This happens a lot in a romantic relationship, particularly with someone that is empathic. They can see that beauty and they can feel that truth of a person, but that seeing blinds their capability to just see the abject distortion that they are in and what they're choosing and how it's not okay. The red flags that they are being the flag bearers of, and they tolerate too much. So this ability to feel that nature of people and to be rooting for their potential, you tolerate too much, and what you tolerate ends up eroding you energetically and vibrationally, and it is the choice to remain in a lower paradigm of yourself. So this is why the healing being the empath, the one who sees that essence in people, can sabotage themselves in the relationship when they're not able to put themselves first. So this is another thing that I was talking about with my friend recently, was how when you're so attuned to the needs of others, and from a energetic perspective, but also from just a caring perspective, you don't want to take up space and inflict your needs on other people or inflict your experience. And this comes from people who just weren't given healthy space when they were young to be with what was coming up for them. And they experienced the imbalances of other people's things affecting them so much that they really didn't understand how to take space for themselves to feel things there. So this is the way the healer can martyr themselves, is because they put their own needs last. They put their own needs below the needs of other people. And this is something I actually realized in the darkness room as well, where I am putting something externally above my own relationship with myself and my own devotion to my energy and my path and just my own embodiment. And it's just such an easy thing to do for us to recognize that, well, we're fine, we're good, you know. But you just don't let yourself take up that space. And in order to really rise as who you are, as the guide, the healer, into your true essence, you have to become comfortable with embodying and occupying this space and not feeling that it inflicts on other people or whatever the distortion is there, right? Whatever the belief is that's underneath it. And this is why we have to see the behaviors, see the patterns, see the tendencies, and be able to feel vibrationally where things are really at. And then from that, identify what it is inside of you that holds this non-resonance with the truth of your essence. What do you believe? What do you assume about yourself? And where do you need to go and become the destroyer of your own illusions? Burn it all away, Callie, burn it all away. If it doesn't serve you, then burn it all away.